Mm-hmm. 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 Gonna do this thing. Let's see if it is working right now. I'm testing, testing, testing. A stream we have. Hey Panny, what's going on? Hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's begin this thing. Yeah, we'll see if it works. Hold on. Setting everything up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we will begin shortly as I pull everything up still. All right. Hi, Panny. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Things looking fine from here. Okay, good. I'm glad. I was just testing everything out. Awesome. So, last time we played this game, we completed it. We went the Chloe route. We saved Chloe. Everyone else died. So this time we're gonna do the director's commentary because we didn't do that yet. So let's start from number 1. Hello, Sonia. Hi. Good to see you. Hey there, Kylia. Oh, they're all French. Oh, oops. Oh, hiyo. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Panny. Hey, JL. Hey, Naze. Congrats on 52 subs. Yay, we hit 50 subs. Hooray. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. You guys are awesome. I need to make my volume a lot louder because they are so quiet. So they all speak English. I'm glad they have subtitles. Happy New Year. Good to see you guys. Why are they so quiet? Work in the morning for you, Sonia? Happy New Year. Uh-oh. Oh, there's no audio. Yikes. No audio. Uh-oh. My the desktop audio is playing. It's just like really quiet. Maybe if I unplug it, it'll work better. Let's try that. Okay. Tell me if you can hear it now. It's super quiet. Okay. I took off my headphones, so maybe it'll work better.
Music. And myself, since I'm from illustration background, my specialties were more on the art direction. And
242.
later,
You need to go to bed, Sonia.
for this game, I'm starting to work way more with the narrative team and the voice recording sessions.
It was cool because they have a similar vision for the game, so we didn't have a yes from one and no from the other.
Actually, Michel and Raoul are
Oh,
in the game.
He's American.
When you think about it, because
Audio's
there are
good,
two
good.
game
I had to take it out. My
so
headphones
we
out.
have a contraction, which is Michel. But if you put it the other way around, it's Raoul and Michel, so it's Rachel.
Oh,
I'm
get
pretty
it?
sure they did on
Rachel.
purpose.
The
Rachel
idea
Amber.
behind the game was to, because we have both of us worked on Remember Me, and there was some sequences in this game called Memory Remixes, and one of the founders, Hervé Bonin, asked
Bed is
this
good for
small
you. Bed is
cartoon
sleep. Sleep is good.
to think about a game with this kind of mechanism. Very quickly came the episodic adventure game because we wanted really to do something like that.
There is really a lot of
Oh, you live
good
with
ways
Sonia?
to,
You guys are
new ways to
you guys live in the same
interactive ways
country.
to tell
Cool.
stories.
On an episodic format, you have to make a lot of choice for episode 1 because
I'm from
you won't
America.
be able to change after. a lot of assets have to be there in episode 1. So the menu is one of those assets.
It was interesting because there was a lot of variations. We did a lot
I
of
like how
tries
you don't
of
notice these
what we
things,
wanted
like
to show in this menu.
the assets change on even the
The
title
idea
screen, the
was
main
really
menu.
to basically show the most important locations of the game. We can see the Blackwell Academy on the top right. We can see the lighthouse. We can see the town of Arcadia Bay. We were really
Life is
trying to give a
Strange,
sense of
director's cut.
location and just showing like the game world with the menu.
We really wanted to make the player feel that all areas are connected, and the menu is a great way
I'm
to do
American.
One of the main importance for us for the game was to have a peaceful game with this sense of you can take your time, and we wanted to reflect that from the menu. So we worked on those small wind effects and the leaves that are going around and the nice and soft
The
music.
nice
It was
and
just
soft
when you
music.
start the game, you should feel quite
There
at
was French
peace and
accents.
comfortable. And even when the menu evolves in each episode, there is some small details that are changing. Like for the menu for episode 4, you have the beach whale. That's this kind of details we wanted to
Oh, the beach
just add
whales.
with the
I like,
variations
I
of
like
the
how
menu.
they're
The
adding
game
this
takes
stuff. You
place
don't even
in
realize
Oregon,
it.
in the Pacific Northwest, in the United States. When I went back there on vacations, I've seen a lot of places that really looks like what we did in the game.
I loved it,
guess
Sonya. I was just
it was a
sad
really big
that
job
I
of
killed everyone
references to
except
be sure that
Chloe.
everything was correct.
It felt awful.
But it's also something that's really exciting about making a game.
I should have
that you
killed
have
everyone.
to look at
I mean,
everything and
Chloe
to reproduce
and everyone else could
reality,
live.
and with of course our own lens and stylizations. But we really wanted this to feel like being in Oregon. Sometimes people ask us if we choose to have a game in the United States for marketing, for selling the game. We knew that we were fans of like TV shows like Twin Peaks or X-Files. They have those trees and the Pacific Northwest feeling.
Yeah.
I think they are a great example of a small community thinking that everybody know each other and everybody is happy, but when you put something inside
Yeah,
this
sacrifices had to be made, but a lot of
could be something
sacrifices. I killed
supernatural,
everyone. I feel bad.
You discover a
I
lot
wanted.
more.
I felt so
And
awful.
it's really a way to shift things around and to bring chaos and interesting variations on the characters. And in the end, Life is
Yeah,
Strange is
literally
really
Liam's
a game and a
so
story about the
bad.
characters, about their lives. It's not a story about the sci-fi elements. The sci-fi elements are just for us. They were just here to make things interesting.
All right, so that was number 1. So let's check out number 2. Let's play. So there's 2 directors, and their names were. They made their names to be Rachel, which is really cool. I think that's really cool. And the menu they did, that's also awesome. Like you don't notice these subtle changes, but they do that. Like that's quality, and showing it.
Okay, so let's play the game.
Let's
and
play the
Yeah,
game.
let's play Life is Strange. So this is the very
This
beginning of
is
the
the
game. I think
beginning.
this is one of the
Jesus.
very
I like their
difficult
accents.
sequence of the beginning of the production because this is the first time the player will see what the game looks like and will be inside the story. So we got a lot of discussion about this one and a lot of discussion about the shots, how we are going to present Mac's character.
Character.
The important, as this is a video game, is the player to know where he has to go and the objective.
I like
of
this
the-
game because you get to
of
play a
each
girl.
scene.
I like it's
This
fun
scene
to
is a
play a
link
female
to the end of
protagonist.
the game, of course, and it's also to close the loop and begin with this scene. And when you know the end of the game was something we really wanted to have, so we can see all the FX, and we've got one FX artist, very talented, Thomas. Here you can see a lot of his work,
Clouds and
all the
tornado.
particles, the
Oh, he
tornado.
worked
We
on
took a
it.
lot of
That's
time
so
to work on
cool.
this tornado because when you're
Wow.
working on an episodic game, it's important to still hook the player from episode 1. So that's the kind of discussion we had about the rhythm. To when should we put something that has a bit more impact and that feels something that shows the player that there is something bigger. So this introduction was a bit like that. We wanted in Life is Strange the player to always know what Max is knowing and to just be with her. At this moment, Max doesn't know where she is and the player doesn't know it either.
Nobody knows. We don't know where we are. Man, that was so cool.
We're back to the high school, and which is one of the most important settings of the game, of course, the high school setting and the Blackwell
Blackwell
Academy.
Academy is awesome.
High school is something where the player will feel comfortable because he knows it, but the transition from the cliff to there is the twist of having something really different, and that should hook the player to say, oh, it's not
She
just
got
a
hit.
teen story, it's there is more to it. And then of course we can go much over than that and twist it and change the characters. But it was an interesting starting
Definitely
point.
don't listen to this commentary. You haven't played the game yet.
This
So
kind of
many spoilers.
introduction is really important because in one sequence with some shots you have to discover all the different characters, the main ones. So you will see of course Jefferson, Kate and Victoria.
And it was quite hard to decide between not showing too much, to not break the idea of the game, to not be too big before, compared to what the game would be after. There is a lot of themes of big ideas on the game, and of course photography is one of it, because photography is still a way to look back to the past. It's linked to the theme of rewind and time manipulation and nostalgia. And that's one of the reasons why Max came back to Arcadia Bay to attend this photography
I
class.
think it was
I
cool.
think for the player to be like Max back in this town when
Have you bought Life is Strange 2? I have not bought it yet, but I bought the next one.
Really, as a
There's
player,
something in the Life is Strange The
great,
Storm, so I have to play that one, and then I have to play Life is Strange 2.
The lighting
That'll be
was
my
really
next one.
important in this scene to break the
You know I have to buy it
the
though.
cliff,
I love this series.
ambience by this sunny atmosphere and all this light coming from the windows.
And maybe we decided to have a private high school rather than just a regular high school for, of
Can't wait
course,
for you
for
to play
the
the second one.
photography
Yeah, I'm so
course,
excited.
but it was also to
I already
be able
bought
to have
the
less
Storm one,
students,
so we're gonna
because
play
we wanted
the Storm one with
story
Chloe
to be a
in
bit
it.
more intimate. We
And
didn't want it to
it'll
be
be
like
blind
this huge
gameplay
high
because I
school
don't
with
know
so many
anything that
students.
happens
It's
in
based
any
on
other game.
what the player is doing. You can really learn more about them and see that they're actually not just the stereotype and the archetype you would think they are. This is still a perfect example of how episodic is hard, because if you look closely at this poster, there is a mistake on it. It says that the exhibition takes place in the De Young Museum of Art,
Yeah,
when actually it's not that in episode 5, it's the
Zeitgeist
Zeitgeist
Gallery,
Gallery.
that's right.
We have a really great community, so thank you
People
guys.
found it. That's so
And people
cool.
found out this mistake, and yes, it
That's
is a
so
mistake. It's
cool. They really
when in
attention
episode
to
5 we
detail.
found out that we couldn't be a museum. It was too big.
Can't wait
so
to
it
see you
has
play
be
it.
an
Thank you,
art gallery,
Sonia.
so we changed
Yeah, I
the
can't wait to
name,
play it too.
and
I'm
there is
so
a mistake like
excited.
this in episode 1.
Definitely gonna be playing it. Gotta start the new year right. Playing the games.
we really wanted to have this feeling of being part of a whole high school. So it means a lot of people. It means bullying. It means difficulties when you're a teenager in this kind of world.
Showing the different cliques and different
I
kinds
liked how they run a private high school. Like, that's
I
cool.
think a lot of players love this introduction.
Square
the use of
Enix
music
right there.
here is really important. Is as Max feels insecure in this atmosphere, we wanted her to isolate, and the music is a great way of isolate yourself when you just want to be on your own.
Yeah, it's
and
always good when you listen
so
to
since the
music.
beginning of the game, we were working with licensed tracks, licensed music. We test
First
when
time here.
we
Happy New Year to
testing and
Kylie
prototype
Asama.
some scenes.
Thank you.
We put
Thank
some
you for being
licensed tracks
here.
from
Thanks for
artists we
saying
love.
hi. Good to see you.
Sin Matters one of them. And when we asked Jonathan Morali, who is the lead of Sin Matters, if it's possible to use his music,
So like
he's
I
a
love the
gamer,
lo-fi.
so
Like the
it
music
was really
here was
happy
good
to
in the game. I
have
love
this
the
new
music.
experience, and for
So
us
lo-fi.
it's just incredible to work with him. And this kind of
Soft
editing is
vibe
really
musics.
difficult to do because you have to choose the important moment
Hey,
in a song
Santo.
and to choose the right images.
Because our writer Jean-Luc has written many scenes built around music. The edit is based
Thank goodness
on
they
the
got
music.
some
It's not
subtitles.
the other way.
The music is really important in the game. It
The music's
explains a lot
very,
about
very
the
important.
characters.
Absolutely,
Uh,
100%.
Because the choice of the music, the choice of the artist means a lot. For example, Chloe won't listen to the same artist as Max. For the anecdote, for this guitar part, we asked the lead singer of Sin Matters to take his guitar and to play on top of Gonzalez's song in a clumsy way to be sure that it would be like Max playing guitar.
I thought it was so cool Max can play. I love that part. Good morning. Why are you so late at this hour? Yeah, Sonia need to go to sleep. Sonia, go to bed. Go to bed. Alright, so that was number 2. So basically that just summarized how the setting and the area, how they made the transition, and also the music from the game, which I think is also really, really cool. I love the music. Sansa equals oxygen? Oh, I didn't know that. You're doing work? What? You're working at 3 in the morning? No, you shouldn't be working.
Okay, so the objective of this scene was to
Intentions number
go
3.
into the bathroom. I think you can hear the great sound work. Sebastian
Oh,
usually
no.
has worked a lot on this kind of effects. When you take out your earplug, you can hear more the ambience.
Yeah, you can hear
And
more.
this kind of art is done by our main concept artist. We got like 4 concept artists working on the game. With Edouard, who has made a lot of artwork.
was the one
and
who
concept artist.
I like
So basically, in the
art
beginning,
was
we do a lot
amazing.
of documentation. Like
Let's
we
see
do
our
a
work
lot of
together.
research
No, go to bed.
from
No,
all
no
those
work. Just go
pictures we
sleep.
can find on the internet.
After
every
you
room,
sleep,
every
you can do
character
work.
needs to tell you a story, who they are, what they do.
And just for
Yeah, it's
following the
cute.
scene, even for the mood when it's still the rhythm of the game. So we wanted this scene in the bathroom to have a really cold and harsher and more contrasty lighting.
You can definitely
be
tell the
different from
lighting is a lot different.
The soft
You don't really
and,
think
and
about
warm
that
lighting
until you
from
actually play the
from art
game.
class before.
Seeing this scene, there was here one of the mistakes we have done with the game. For example, when Max is tearing apart the Polaroid. In fact, I don't know if you have tried to tear apart a Polaroid, but it's quite impossible.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, you can. We tried it. We can't. You can't do
It's
it.
too
It's too
strong.
strong. It's
So
plastic,
it's a
and it's
kind of,
impossible to tear it like
You
shit.
can't tear
But
it
of
up.
course, there is a lot of symbolic behind this, and so we decided to keep it.
Even if it's not realistic. I
it's
mean,
not
come on.
realistic,
It's a time thing. It's not
maybe
even realistic.
Bad
My
Polaroid,
condolences to both
quality,
Sonia
you
and
can do
Hot
it,
Panny.
you can see the butterfly
Onion.
coming in from the window. There's a lot of symbol behind this. The butterfly, of course, with all the butterfly
Butterfly
effects,
effect.
and
Yep, that was
fact
that was
that
the
Chloe
symbolism
has
the
got
entire
Some
time.
butterflies on her tattoo and the color of her hair based
Yeah,
on the
this
color of
is-
the
Mhm.
butterfly.
I hate
really something
Victoria
we wanted
Chase.
to hear. The blue butterfly is really, really important, and of course, at the end of the game, it's much more important.
One of the fans' favorite, and of course, a character we really
Mhm.
love. Chloe, she's
We love
she's one
Chloe.
of the most important characters. Because
She's
at
literally the
end,
most-
the
it's-
choice
this
is
game is
her.
about
It was
her.
really important to create this character the best way possible, so the player
She has
would
that Hulk forearm and grip
learn
strength.
to care more and more about her.
She really does.
But we really wanted her to be
Go,
not
Sonia,
that
go.
nice at the
You can
beginning.
do it.
So when she's evolving during the different episodes, and she's getting nicer to Max, people would care even more about her
Mhm.
because she changed, and she likes the fact that she changed. If she was the nicest person from the beginning, it wouldn't be, I think, as effective that her going forward and changing toward Max.
Yeah, her
Sometimes,
personality
some
is
players
good.
hated Chloe during the first episode, and I think it's not a bad thing because you can
Chloe's not a perfect
dislike a lot
character,
of
which is really
thing
good.
about her
It's a-
personality, and after an episode
And then when they
3,
saw
and
the,
of course
the,
at
the
the
nice
beginning
Chloe,
of episode
it's
4,
like, oh, it makes more
there
sense.
was really something more to this character, and I think it's like having in real life with a friend.
Yeah,
There is
friend in
always
real
some
life.
things you don't like. The
You're
relation between
most
Max and Chloe
welcome.
talk about that, and I think it's really interesting to see how the player will learn to like more and more Chloe.
Mhm.
And
I think it was one of the biggest challenge of the writing process to
Oh,
because we have
see?
5 episodes, we have a limited amount of
I
time,
got a huge
and
crush
we
on
need to
Max.
find
I love Max.
the good beats
Max
and
is
the good
amazing.
pacing to make those characters evolve.
Max is good.
It's a
girl.
really intimate story, and
Oh, that's Chloe.
it's mostly just centered on just emotional moments.
so
All
cool.
of the
That's
major
literally
choices that
Chloe.
you make in the game are emotional. The heart of it is the relationship between Max and Chloe. It gets really dark, and things get really hard for Chloe and really
I
emotional.
love it. Chloe.
In the game, one
Wanna
of
see
our-
Max.
Goal was also to be able to talk about real life issues, about some social themes and difficult themes that can be experienced in real life. I mean, it's different to other games where
Yeah, definitely,
there
really
are bigger
different.
issues like situation of life or death or war or stuff like that. And in this game, we wanted really to focus on more human issues on a smaller level.
Mhm.
The mood of the game and the themes of the game. It's the
That's
themes
that's the
that
voice
we tackle in
actress,
the game
Ashley.
are not something that you
She's so cool.
that you see often
She
in
looks
other
like
games.
Chloe.
We try to be mature about it. We try not to force it onto players, and we try not to be too brutal about it.
We have issues like domestic violence, family issues,
So talk about drugs,
It's
alcoholism,
so sad, yeah.
and
depression.
unemployment.
It's part of a
really is
reality,
reality,
and I
though.
think
It's
it
so
was really important
sad.
for us to not avoid that. And I think it's a
Video
great,
games are a great way to
video game is
showcase
also a
that.
great media to talk about that, because as a player,
Mhm.
you will be involved maybe more than just looking at a movie or
You're
reading
playing
a book.
it.
You
You're
will
in
be
this
really
experience.
part
Yeah, she
and
looks super
actor
cool. I want
of
to see
this
Max's voice
experience.
actor.
We are not sure that Square Enix, the publisher,
Square
will,
Enix.
will approve all the scenes, the intense scenes we have, and how we deal with them. And really early in the discussions, we were relieved to see that they didn't
Hello,
want to change
Leonardo.
anything.
Hi.
They just wanted to make sure that we deal properly with the scenes or themes, and this is exactly what were our intentions. So
Mhm. Wow.
It's again a key scene for episode 1. It's the first time you see Nathan and Chloe.
Ethan and Chloe,
First
yeah.
scene with the character is really, really important. We
This
got
is
a lot of,
where you find out
of
who the
information
characters are.
to give to the player.
Mhm.
And
We needed to show that Nathan was quite a troubled child, a teenager, I mean. So this is him talking to himself at the beginning. We had to fine tune and to find the good words to
Nathan's
use.
awful.
Then we see Chloe for the
When I
first
think
time.
about
We
like
have
the
to
train
show
actually at my school,
what's her character. So she's
That's a
direct
truth.
and
Their
a bit
school-
pushy to Nathan.
Their school needs some help.
We need still to understand what's
They need to
happening. So
change
they're
their
talking about
whole-
money, about
whole
drugs. We had to
students,
give to
the
find the right hints to
teachers.
give to explain things. So we don't want to lose the player.
It's boring, sure, but I'm glad it's normal. Yes, that's fine. Hey, normal is good. Normal is 100% good. You can't go wrong with that. Alright, so next one will be 4, because we just did intentions. So let's go to number 4. A matter of choice.
Prescott is a punk ass who begs like a little girl and talks to
There are
himself.
many
You
that would
know
wish they
who
could
the
return
fuck
to
I
being
am,
in
or who you're
school.
messing around
Yeah,
with.
Where'd you get that?
I'd love to go.
What are you
I want to
doing?
be high school again.
Come on, put that thing down.
Ever
Or
tell me
18
what to
again.
do. I'm so sick of people trying to control me.
You are going to get in hella more trouble for this than drugs.
This scene, this is the starting point of Max discovering that she has this weird power, because basically
This is where she finds out she has a
adrenaline
power.
rush, and
Yep,
so
that's
in-
right.
Looking at Chloe getting shot, that's
So
how she can
sad.
trigger that for the first time, and she don't know really why, but that's the seriousness of the situation. Then you'll go back in the art class.
Mm-hmm.
So we really tried on this scene to show the deja vu feeling. So the editing and the shots were there to give this weird feeling to the player that, okay, I'm living that again and again, looking at the different
Again
moments
and
that
again
the
and again,
player
yep.
saw the first time in this scene.
So yeah, for the editing in this sequence, we wanted to keep the same elements, but not necessarily the same shot. You can see that first 3 shots are the same, I think, and after we begin to change,
Yeah,
a
they
little
changed the point of view, which is really
so
cool.
you understand that there are the same events going
But
on,
it's not
but
the same
just
thing.
seeing from a different
The
point
real
of view.
question: How
I
did Max
think to
get
be
her power?
perfectly honest, we don't have a good
her trigger point
explanation
was Chloe,
for why
saving Chloe.
she's going back to the art class, because
The
we
whole
needed it
game
for.
was about
one,
saving Chloe.
I don't think it's a mistake, and because we also needed to explain to the player, so the player can learn how things are working, and it's quite hard to do. So we took this freedom to have Max go back to the art class, which, even if it's a bit contradictory with how her power works after that, we are using this to explore more of Max's personality, of the characters, and because that's the way we created the character. Max, as we've seen that with what she's thinking, she has a
very
lot of
insecure.
insecurity. She has issues
very,
to go forward in her life, to take
Anxious,
decisions.
social anxiety.
And knows
but there's nothing wrong
she has
with
this
that.
ability to not going forward, but going even backward.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting storytelling device to question with her character and with the player, of course, to question choice and consequences, to question fate, to question really interesting issues.
I think Max would never have changed as much as here in our story without this power and without this sci-fi element. So
Yeah,
it puts the
sci-fi
player in
elements.
a very interesting position, because she will ask himself why he's doing some interaction. He can undo the interaction and try something else, but also Max, by doing this, will ask herself, am I doing the right decision? Is it the good choice or not? So we deconstruct the mechanism of classic adventure game just by adding this power and the fact that you can
That's
undo
true,
things and try
Sandra.
another thing.
Of course, in most games, and that's you can do it with quick save,
Yeah,
quick
quick
load,
save.
but it's like you said, it's only the player who do that, and that's one of the main themes of the games. That if I had the power to rewind and to change things, should I do it? Because sometimes it can be really seen as
It can be seen as lying.
Yes. If I
Yeah.
say a lot of things that you don't like, and if I go back in time and don't say them to try to, so you're not angry at
Max
me,
is
it's a
delusional.
bit
When Chloe
tricky.
got shot, she
So
really got shot.
we are really
Max cannot
asking those
accept it.
questions, and in the beginning
Has
of
a
the
false
game,
memory that
we
she
are
wants to
letting
help
the
Chloe.
player and Max do it a lot. She's
That's
getting
the
to
theory.
make a lot of friends with this
Sonya
rewind.
theory.
But later in the game,
Mind
and
blown.
especially in episode 5, we are really questioning this to see maybe it wasn't the right thing. Maybe what you did to try to lie to people with your power, was it really good? And that's something that can be interesting for the story, but also to ask the player at a moment.
I think this is what we wanted to do also with this
Yeah,
game,
because
to show that it's difficult,
difficult to make
the
the
choice, and
choices,
it's
yep.
even more difficult to live with it, but you have to learn
But
to
you
do
still
that.
have to, and even if you could hesitate a lot, there is no perfect way to do things.
Okay,
Hi,
if I'm
Rainsmore.
crazy,
Hi.
I might as well go all the way.
Hello.
Can I actually reverse time?
Yes, Max, you can do it.
And so that basically that the first time the player will actively rewind. So we have Max thinking that okay, I just got back in time. I'm in the art class, and so that's why we made her break her camera, because we needed to have an element that the player will see that we will rewind, so we can really explain how do you rewind. So Max broke her
Yeah,
camera,
Max
and then
broke
she's
her camera,
thinking,
and she goes back
okay,
in time
if
to
I
save
get-
her
If I
camera.
got back in time, maybe,
That's how it works. Simple as that.
and revert that. So that's the first real
Oh,
rewind
this game
the
is just
player is
Max's
actively
brain.
doing. It's okay. We don't really want the players
Mind
to use the
blown.
rewind all the time. But since
This is all
it's
in
important
Max's
in the
head,
beginning of the game to
'cause she
really
can't
show
accept it.
to
Oh,
really
man,
show
that's
the
crazy.
player the tools he have, and it was important for us to have this in this scene, to have a lot of use of the rewind, so he can really, okay, I know how it is now, and now I decide if I use it or not.
Yeah, now you can decide if you want
I
to use your
hope I have enough
rewind.
time to get to the bathroom. Please, please. I can't tell
Imagine how
anybody.
severe the butterfly
They'll
effect
think
would
I'm
be to
crazy.
actually have the real power.
Since we are really playing the
I
game
want
with the
that
point
power.
of view of Max,
I really want that
for
power.
her, not everything is clear, so
I
it
would
shouldn't
use
be
it.
clear for the player. So, but there is a lot of hints that should really guide the players to
power of
understand what's
time.
happening.
It's
We
so
have
cool.
a lot of symbolism with totem spirit animals. We have the doe, and you can clearly see in episodes
Yeah,
4
the
that
doe is clearly linked to Rachel, yep,
to
I
Rachel,
knew that.
and it's basically somehow
Rachel's guiding
the
Max. Yep,
presence
I knew
of
that.
Rachel that's guiding Max at moments. I'm not sure that a lot of players
Oh, I
noticed that,
noticed.
but in episode 2 actually, when you see the doe in the junkyard, it's precisely where
Rachel's
Rachel
buried.
is
That's
buried.
so
There is this
sad.
mystic feeling around the town, and since we didn't want to clearly explain everything, it's part of what makes
Arcadia
Arcadia Bay
Bay
a bit
is
different and a
different.
bit special.
Definitely different. Okay, so yeah, we knew she was like that. We knew that was Rachel. All right, so let's go to number 5 now. All right. Okay. All right, 5.
So yeah, we're going to play a bit of the junkyard scene.
Yes,
So
it's
it's
episode
we love the junkyard scene because a lot of different elements, but the first one I think is the environment. I think the environment artists have made something incredible here.
For Life
Junkyard.
is Strange, we really wanted to have a stylized rendering. We didn't want it to be realistic, or so every texture has been hand painted to give this impressionistic feeling. And I think in the junkyard it's really interesting because there is so many details that's where this kind of simpler texture are working well. Because if this scene was
Over
overly
detailed,
detailed
that's
with
right.
cracks in the rust and everything,
Well, I'm glad it wasn't
would-
overly detailed.
would
Yeah.
become really noisy to look at. We did a lot of work on the lighting effects and the atmosphere, so it was really important for us to capture this morning feeling with very, very cold colors in the fog, but a slightly warm sun that just brings
I like
some
the colors to this game.
soft
Very
and warm
nice.
feeling to the scene.
This scene is also a good example of what we want to do in terms of environmental storytelling. We've got a lot of different objects who are there and who has their own story, and
Okay, let's do
I
this.
mean, I
Can you
didn't
find
like the
5 bottles while I
find the
prep the
bottle
shooting
game.
range?
That was kind of hard.
Beer and guns? Nice combo.
You can handle it. Now go find us 5 bottles.
This is one of the
Pretty
best
please.
puzzles of the
I
game.
hated
Yeah,
this
I think
puzzle
it is.
game. The
I think
worst
the-
one.
I think it's mostly the final bottle that was really hard to find,
Yeah.
and we did a mistake on it because it was maybe too well hidden.
It was
Our goal
so
for this
hard.
was just to allow the player to push the player to visit the place while looking for those bottles, because there is a lot of interesting things to discover. Basically, the junkyard is where Chloe brought Max to try her power, but it's also where
Chloe
Chloe
and Rachel hung out,
Rachel
yeah.
were hanging out together before Rachel disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So this place here was this small hideout for Chloe and Rachel, and we tried a lot of what we did in the whole game with environmental storytelling can be seen here, because there is a lot of everything that we really like to do, to tell with environment.
Yeah,
It's a
of
good way
course.
of course, to show more to the player. So it's
And it's also to give rewards to the player who want to know more about the characters and who is curious, because you can do this whole scene without looking at every
Yeah,
detail.
you don't
but
have to look at
there's
the
some hidden
details, but
stuff.
it's more
This one is
fun.
harder to find. I think that
I
not every
didn't see
player
that.
find it, but.
You
And
can
this is
tell
a
how much I want you
big
to read
letter
this letter since I've been dragging my ass. to get it.
Rachel wanted to write to Chloe and
I met
maybe
somebody
didn't,
that's different
never
from the
gave it to
Vortex.
her.
I didn't
In
read
Life
that
is
one.
Strange, we really tried to
I
put
missed
a lot
that.
of attentions to the details.
Dang
we
it,
have
I wish I
a
saw
lot of
that.
various levels of things, and if you look around, you can find some really small details that are useless to the main story but interesting.
Actually, we start to play with that, putting more and more
I like
things
the
on
details.
corners
It's so
in
cool.
dark area to see if the player can spot it or not. And usually they did.
Me, I didn't notice
They
it.
noticed things that we thought they could not notice. Like on a shirt, we have letters that when you put in the right order, it says
No.
no fucks given, and
I didn't-
they noticed.
I didn't notice. I didn't notice that.
I don't know about this.
That's so cool.
Are you afraid
All
of
these
getting in trouble?
secrets.
Oh, boo-hoo, Max is afraid. I know you can handle this, and I'm here to guide you. Make me proud, sister.
Life is Strange really is a game about choice and consequences. So we have a lot of choice you can make in the game, which will have consequences later on in the same episode or in the other episode. And there is one big choice in this scene right now that will happen, for example.
The idea for each choice is really to have not easy choice to take, even
Yeah,
if it's not
choices are always hard.
life or and death choice.
The Frank one was hard.
Like you could have another game, or it's more everyday life choices. The important is really to make your
Make your own
and to
choices.
decide to live with it. So that's why with Max Power, it's of course more difficult because you can try a choice.
But which
you're
one
not
will you
sure
stick to?
you're going to rewind and you're going to make the other one. But the important is if you want to continue and to move on, you have to keep on one and
That's what made
live
the
with
game
the
so much fun,
consequence.
though.
So this
I really
is
enjoyed that.
in this choice
This
in
one was
particular.
interesting.
What do you want to do, Michel?
What do you want to do,
First
Michael,
one.
for the first one?
I don't think I would shoot a guy anyway, so I would say.
So we won't
I
shoot.
didn't shoot
So
him.
you can see directly some consequence. Means that you don't have gun anymore because Frank is going to
Yep, Frank took the
take
gun.
it. Chloe will be pissed off.
You can of course rewind and
I
try
like
the
it playing
other
on a
one.
big
But
screen.
something that's
That's
really
nice.
interesting, because it was a lot of work at the beginning, because we were thinking that if you have the rewind, does it not completely destroy the fact that you are making choices? And actually, we've seen that players are really hesitating. We've watched some Let's Play video, and we've seen players
I'm a Let's Play.
just even if they knew that they could go back, they were hesitating so much when they make a choice. I think it's interesting.
Hesitating's awesome, though. I mean, it makes you really want to do it. Okay, so that was basically showing hidden details of the game that some people missed out on, like me. I totally missed out on a couple of those things. I wish I knew about that letter because I didn't notice it when I played the game. That when we were doing that. So seeing that's really awesome. Okay, let's do number 6. Number 6. Game.
Here will be out of the campus for the first time for the
Yes.
player.
Yeah, I like
So
seeing
this is the
campus,
first
it's
time the
fun.
player will be able to use his power when he wants. He can do before, but there is no so many interaction and puzzles.
is
Here,
very funny.
we really wanted to have a lot of different things to do.
Yeah.
Talk with people, use the power just to see fun stuff.
But we use this kind of environment for the players who like to take their time and just to talk to characters, to
I enjoyed
to look
that.
around.
That was really
it
fun.
really gives a sense of
Very,
presence to
free to
Max, to the
explore.
world.
The important aspect of the game is really to give some rewards to the player
And
who want to
explore.
do that and to want to take his time. So with this kind of sequences, for example, we give what we call a reward, but in fact it's just new element of the game. For example, here you will have new layer of music. You can hear some new layer of music. You will have all those camera shots that you can't have inside the
Classic walkthrough.
classic walkthrough and classic gameplay in third person. So this kind of beautiful shots you have only because you have chosen to take your time and to sit on the fountain.
And just, like,
so
relax
the music,
with
the
the singing
shots, and
parts.
of course the voiceover of Max also at the beginning. We hear what Max is thinking just here. So this kind of rewards will push, we think, the player to do that again and again. So this is really something we wanted to have.
In this game, it's always feeling a bit like what Max is
like
feeling.
how Max is doing.
And it was we really wanted to focus on those moments. It was really capturing the moment when you can really take your time to reflect on yourself, and that's what Max is doing in those scenes. That's something that not a lot of games are doing, to let the player take his time, because in a lot of games it's just like you need to go forward, you need to go to this checkpoint, you need to do
this one
this
you
and
can do
this.
whatever you like.
Since the beginning, we wanted the rewind to be the player can use when he wants, where he wants.
That's what makes it so
won't be,
fun.
Scripted rewind sequence, for example. On a technical point of view, you have to record all the different things that happens in the scene.
Since you can rewind time, you can basically be at any part of the scene at any moment you like. Designing puzzles with the rewind was very, very hard. When you think it's done, you think you've seen everything about it, you think the situation is in place and it's going to be working well. There's always this tiny little thing that's fucking it up.
Those elements are not really deterministic, so when you rewind, you're not sure that you will be able to restore the particle system in the same state.
Do not forget I need those papers before tonight. Like now. Thanks, Sherry.
And this is the dormitories. This is also something that was interesting
I
for
like
us,
the
is
dormitory. It's
to
really
talk
fun.
about dorm life. We wanted to use this setting because we can really talk about social
See
issues,
how the
like
girls are.
the girls have their room. Do you really like the people who live next to you? How the relationship are working inside the dormitory? Like right now, it's interesting if you have different music that can come from the different rooms. It's a really interesting setting to set up a lot of characters easily.
Here the idea is really to again have this believable universe of the students.
It's pretty cool.
We have to focus on what we want to tell and what we want to develop.
In each episode, Alyssa is getting hit or in danger by something, and
you can decide to save her or
you can,
not,
or
which
you,
is really
you
cool.
can decide
It's really
or not
cool.
to use the rewind power to warn her and to actually to get her
To
out
save
of trouble.
her.
And again, I think it's links to also the Kate story and this kind of stuff. It's not just here to have fun. It's also to talk about those difficulties you can have when you could be someone like Alyssa and having these kind of problems.
And it's always a way to find the little details and little elements that will bring more to the characters, how we are defining them, without sometimes telling too much.
So this is the same actress as Chloe.
Yeah,
The
that's
two
an
main
actress.
actresses who are playing Max and Chloe did also the other
Some of the other
students.
characters,
So you can. There is some of Chloe inside each one of them. You can see Max and Chloe here. The body animation is done in motion capture on this project.
Oh, nice.
We've done a lot of shooting
camera.
motion capture with
French companies.
French companies. The two main, so Max and Chloe, like for the voice actor, in fact, they are always played by the same actress. Serena and Gabrielle. So all the body language and the body animation you will see in the game are done by them.
Nice.
And so in each scene we discuss about the scene with them, and they add some. Both of them, they have given something to the character, even for Max, because Serena was a bit shy at the beginning of the project, and at the end of the project
Just like Max.
She was
the same.
different, and we can see the evolution of Max inside her acting.
It's so cool.
Who did you tell?
Chloe's very
The
cute.
principal.
But he didn't seem to believe me.
The principal? Are you still 12? That drunk jackass only cares about cash for Blackwell Academy. Don't
She might
trust
take the
him.
girl.
I
You mean
didn't
the
mention you at
the stubborn,
This is the first time we
impatient
will
girl,
really
hard
see the
rocker,
Max universe
punk,
by
punk girl.
discovering a room. So let's go inside.
It was a really important scene for us because you're playing as Max in the game, so you already start to know some about her with what happened before in episode 1. But when you enter her room, it's really her universe. It's everything in this room should describe her, who she is, why she is like this, and speak a bit more about her past.
There's quite a lot in this room, in fact, compared to the.
Look at her
because we
baby.
tried, I think, episode after episode also to focus on different things, and we can't put too many objects in a room.
If you want to play a character for 5 episodes, you need to invest in this character, and all those kind of details and were really important to make a connection between the player and Max, to learn a bit more about what she experienced before, and maybe also why she is how she is right now.
Yeah.
Something we really wanted to have with Max From is also to have a great contrast between Max and
weird
Chloe.
sometimes. I don't think so. I think she's pretty.
It was really important to have
Very
those
pretty
two
girl.
characters. Max and Chloe are really different. They are quite opposite at the beginning of the story. So we wanted that her personality and also her universe, her rooms reflect that.
See the
And
different
we
types.
took for Max this a sort of softer colors. We have the pink in. I think her bed cover is really soft.
Really
We have
cute.
the small cushions with the flowers, the teddy bear.
We've got a lot of different
See a lot of
environments in the
details
game,
in the
but
game.
we wanted really to be able to revisit the environments and to have other scenes taking place in the same environments, but telling different stories and telling different sequences. So, for example, in this room, when you go back here in the house, in the alternate reality, we will find an
Chloe's empty room.
room of an empty Chloe room, and you have been here so many times before the episode 4
But then it
with
looks so
Chloe,
different. I
having
like her.
fun
I
with
like
Chloe,
Max's outfit in this. It's so
listening to
cute.
music.
Like I want to wear it. Her little blazer.
Going back here, without anything, you will directly see what you've lost and what this another reality
You lost Chloe.
means for Chloe and for you.
So sad. It's very
Max,
sad.
try to find the light for the pool. I want to see the sharks. Otters don't like sharks. They bite. So do I. Hit that light.
We've done the
They're
same
so
with
good.
the
They're such
swimming pool, for
friends.
example. We've got a great scene in the swimming pool
Between the two of
Max
them.
and Chloe when they are alone during the night, and after you got this huge vortex party, which is a really different
contrast. Yeah.
atmosphere. So this is kind of
On the production point of view, it's basically a brand new environment.
Yeah, it's so
but it's still
cool.
in the same place and with a lot of similarities. So it's really important to show. It was important for us to show the changes that
The different
Max
changes
can
for both.
create with,
Yeah, I
with
understand
her
that.
power and the
It's so
changes to
cool.
the characters and to the world.
See, producers, man, they're really awesome. All right, so capturing is basically showing the contrast between Max and Chloe, and also the environments of, say, the pool at nighttime versus the daytime, or when Chloe got hit by the car in the alternate reality, and you see the difference, which is really, really cool. Okay, number 7.
Stop treating me and my mom like we're your family platoon.
Hey,
This
leave Joyce out of
is
this.
the dad.
I wish you'd leave Joyce, like now.
See this part?
seeing this kind of family violence, and it's something you can have encounter as a player. I think we all know some people who got some difficulties, and you can have by yourself also. Here, the choice you're going to take will have consequences on the relation between Max and Chloe,
But also with
on
stepdad.
her father.
David Madsen.
Hey, you okay?
When she
Welcome to
finished.
the real step douches of Arcadia Bay.
I'm sorry.
For what? He would have been a bigger dick if he caught you in here.
That's true.
David could seem very archetypal
Yes,
and
again, one dimension at the beginning.
more-
but then
there's
we
more
are
to him
making-
now.
making
episode
him
after
evolve.
episode, you can see that maybe is
He's
very.
got his issues. He's got PTSD.
He's got his own reason
Yeah.
to
His
be
own
like
issues,
this.
and I think not at any moment we are justifying the fact that he could hit Chloe or be how
He's
how it
showing
is,
his other
but
side.
just showing a perspective that not everything is black or white. So we did a lot of research to be sure that we were
Doing
dealing
the right
with
things.
those themes in a good way. Too much gamifying this, we could really maybe hurt some people, and if we are talking about issues those people have
Overdue
had
payment.
and not making it right, it could be worse, and it couldn't be the opposite of what we wanted to do at first.
So here is a Kate character that you have met.
There's more to Kate than you
in
realize.
the first episode, but not so much. And the episode 2 is really focused on Kate and Kate's story and
what happened to Kate. It was so
difficulties.
sad. Poor Kate.
So but this scene is a good way again to how we try to advance the story about Kate, but also try to show more of the other characters, Victoria and Taylor. So we are continuing of what was shown about Victoria in episode 1, like
See how
that
she's so mean.
really a mean person, that she's harassing Kate because she makes fun of her. And so this kind of scene, yes, is we are really trying to advance the story, bring out more of the characters, and of course there is great cameras on it.
All over my face. Max Southey thought she was a badass taking that picture.
We wanted really to talk about all the cyberbullying,
Lots of
the fact that it's quite difficult for a teenager nowadays
Oh my God, everything's on Facebook.
to be connected as everyone is now. I think everyone has got a phone,
That's right.
is connected always.
We are using the text message a lot, and we are making fun with that. So we are really thinking about both sides of the social
But
media.
on the other hand, you've got this dark aspect of internet, which could be really difficult to live. I think a lot of players could recognize some of them inside Kate, and we've received a lot of letters from players who say that helped us also to realize what they've been through. Yeah, we wanted
my
to
gosh,
have
that was
this
so
scene since the
sad.
beginning.
That
We are
was
quite
so,
happy
so
that we
sad.
managed to keep it, and work with Square Enix was great for that. We managed to keep a lot of difficult scenes like this one. It's not only about talking about those themes, it's also to be sure that it's anchored inside our story. And here, of course, this experience and the Kate story will push Max to think about her power, to think about the consequences, to think about the relation with other characters.
That's actually the one time in the game where Max's power fails her. So when you arrive on the roof, you are really by yourself. You have to talk Kate out of jumping, and this was also the second part of what we wanted to do with this sim, is to show that if you care to the people you like, you can help them, and that's basically what Max has to do at this moment, is really to care
So
about Kate,
crazy.
to
This scene got me like, I
show
was
her
like,
that
oof, anxiety.
she knows her, that she's her friend,
save
and to
her.
really take out of jumping. I think that something that was interesting on writing all these scenes, and is even in episode 1, Kate was written as somehow as some type of
she's a
archetype.
religious girl.
She's a bit religious. She's for abstinence. She has this
It's
basically
okay, everyone has their own
pro-life,
preference. Yeah,
ideas.
everybody
So
has their own
maybe
preference.
some of
Nothing
the
wrong with
players
that.
could think
Good.
that she's
Everybody got their
boring
type.
character, but the way we
For
evolved
Sonia,
her
it's
and
potato
write her in the other episode, we
chipus.
really wanted to show that even if you go past the first appearance of someone, that's something that you might feel not interesting or different to you, you can find really good things and interesting things in each person. And I was really happy
David
the way
Matson-
that the
Matson
community
security.
reacted to Kate as a character.
we didn't want to gamify this kind of
Yeah,
scene.
it's
We
like a
still
real
have
scene.
to have rules for how the things, even if it needs to be really in the background, and for the player to not to
The way
see
Max
those
uses
rules.
positive effects
But
is kind of same with butterfly
in
effect
the end, we
movies.
still need to,
It's
create
a
the scene
symbolism.
with,
It's all the
with the
symbolism.
scripting and a way to make it work.
You're
So
showing,
it was really hard to
through
find
the
a
other
good balance
media.
to make it feel the more transparent as possible for the player, and just find a good way to have the feeling that it's really a dialogue between Max and Kate. And it was a really hard one to write. There is a lot of branches, there's a lot of variations.
you.
And I
You're
think even in the
welcome.
voice recording, it took a really long time.
Yeah.
It was one full session just for Hannah and Diane who play Skate. It was really important for us to keep this going after in the other episode, and not just okay, we have done the scene and so no, we go to the following of the game.
I'm going to be here for another day until my family comes out to visit.
How are they treating you?
The same
Like
too,
they
yeah.
need to protect me forever. They're so upset, and I know they feel guilty even though they didn't do anything. I was surprised how many
We wanted
students from
to talk about this theme of euthanasia, but to find a way to talk about it.
Oh man, this one made
that
me
would be
so sad. I was
respectful
crying.
for any sort of position, because it was really important to not try to say this is right, this is wrong, and to let the player
Get to choose.
really see
Man, that
how he
was
wants
so
to
sad.
play this scene at this moment based on what he felt for the situations, for Chloe, for her parents and everything. And that was that was not easy to find this balance when doing that.
And again, it's because it's interactive and it's a video game that this scene is so strong. I think if you just see a scene and just okay, this is
the potato chips
director
are
point of
I'm going
view,
to punch
and
him.
that's it.
Oh,
I accept
very
it or
violent.
not, but here it will be your choice. So you really have to take your time and think about it before making your choice. So,
and we've seen all kind of reactions. We've seen players who immediately say, "No, I can't do it," or other player who immediately accept what Chloe is asking.
Yeah, it's
of
up to
course,
the
it's
choice.
Chloe. I'm accepting, and a lot of others were hesitating for 5-10 minutes or so. And I think that we've been. I like that we did that, but we've been a bit.
We've been a bit
mean to
mean.
the player because we give
Yeah,
them
so
a third
sad.
choice of maybe I cannot take any choice on this, but then you have still to take
You
a
still
choice.
have to make a
But
choice.
I think it was stronger because it was what we wanted to do with that is to show that at
What
point you have
choices
to,
you take, it
to
means
take
something.
responsibility for your actions and decide something. You cannot get an easy way
Take
out.
responsibility for your actions. That's the truth. All right, that was social issues. Basically, just telling everyone what they wanted to show the social agenda, like teenage issues, real life issues, like stuff that's can be controversial at times. A lot of people hate him because he's too annoying. What? Potato Chipsu-san. Getting things right. 8.
Took a lot of photographs, even some of the no weapons, the no
All the
bullying, no
signs.
weapons. We took photographs in some high school in. It wasn't in Oregon, but it was near Washington, so it's still in the Pacific Northwest, near Seattle. And we took some of those. We just adapted some of those posters, and even for example, like this for the map. We did a lot of research, finding
real maps of real buildings.
of real buildings, and trying to be
It really
quite
helped.
precise with.
I think the maps were really good in this
scale,
game.
the layout,
Definitely
the
helped out.
locations, because we really wanted everything to feel genuine and to, sometimes you can go really wrong in a
Sonia,
game
you're
if you
not
just
weird.
start to forget about the scale and the details. So we really wanted to have things right, like having this kind of fire hose at this place. And since the game takes place in October, and we are in the US, there is already a lot of Halloween decorations.
Halloween
and stuff
everywhere.
like that. We wanted to have the game at the anchor in reality, but also of course, we have a lot of references. We are a huge fan of some TV
Like the
shows,
memes and
of
stuff.
books, of movies. And I think that in Life is Strange, the setting was really good to
A lot of
have a lot
references.
of those Easter eggs that will speak to the players and put the game into a pop culture reality. So
Pop culture.
there is a lot of stuff that is scattered
Birch
around
Church.
the game. If you look at every license plate in the game, you'll see that the letters they are meaning some. In episode 1 is titles of TV shows that somehow we liked or that were somehow inspiration in some part for the game. In episode 2 it's movies. In the dormitories you have the room which Red Rum, someone wrote Red Rum on the slate.
It's the number of the room in China.
Oh,
Yes, and so
wow.
it shows that we love
That's so cool.
us
I didn't
as
know
developers
that.
of the
All
movie,
these
but also that the
references.
characters
You
in the
missed
game,
this when you play
of
the
course,
game.
know about this movie
Some of
because
them I
it
knew.
exists in
Some
the
like
real
some
world,
references
and
I
they
could
are
get, but not all of them.
making jokes about it.
We knew that we had to hire an American scriptwriter. We sent some tests to few writers that were recommended, and we knew Christian Divine. In 2 minutes, we all knew that it was going to be him. I had this kind of vision of him in the office, working with us.
Since we've chosen him, he was at 100% or even 200%
That's
of the
really good.
project
He was really into the
with
game,
us. He
which is
completely
awesome. That's why the game turned out so
understood what we
well.
want to do with the characters and with the story and with the different themes we wanted to talk about. During the motion capture session, we asked the actor and the actress to when they meet, Max and Warren meet the first time here on the parking lot, we asked them, they were trying to kiss themselves, but you can't do that in the United States. In fact, as French, we were thinking that, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, French is cool to kiss, not American.
Warren tried to kiss Max, but
kiss Max on the
we
cheek.
never
on the
done that, so we changed after discussion with the writer and a lot of friends. We say, okay, yeah, we should switch to a
Yeah,
hug.
to a
So
hug
we
is
change the
better.
animation to have just Warren try to hug Max and not kiss her. And yeah, this is a kind of mistake we can do as
Translation
French people,
mistake.
so we have to be very careful about
And
that.
it was really good to
because
have-
in France you can
in
say
France,
hello by kissing a
you
girl
say
like
hello
this,
by
but
just having a peek on the cheek, and not in the US. And this is the kind of stuff where having an American writer was really needed.
Definitely different.
We made some other mistakes, like on this parking at the beginning we had the parking spots which were really small, and Christian said to us that this is not American parking spots. In the US you have large parking spots because we have big cars, so we changed that.
They changed the
And we did that
big
for
parking curse.
various things, like sometimes a sign were not at the right position, or something that was not perfectly true to reality.
Trying to make it more American. That's so
So,
cool.
Chloe's house. This is the very, very first scene we've made for the game. So this is really the scene that
The scene.
we have modified a lot to create Life is
And
Strange.
this
Chloe
is
and
also
Max.
the scene with which we sold the game to Square Enix. That's the scene we showed to publisher.
The first time I tried the game, it was the Chloe's Room, a really early prototype.
Oh, it was the prototype.
It felt fantastic to play it. I was
Wow.
literally smiling while playing it because the scene was
Nice.
working really great already. Even though the environment, the characters were not final, it was really good to play.
So cool.
And we decided to use this scene because every mechanism is here, but
Some
it's also the
first
scene
Max,
that
second
shows
Max.
really what Life is Strange is, because it's a story about those two girls trying to reconnect. We had the two main characters. We had strong issues with what happened with David later. So we have the environmental storytelling when you're visiting a different part of the house. We have Zen sequence. It had the feeling that we really wanted to push for the game. This slow-paced,
I really like the
nostalgic
slow pace
feeling.
of the
I
game.
think that
You get to
this
do
scene
stuff.
is really a really good one to
If
show
you do that, you
in
get a free
episode
slap on the
one.
face.
At the beginning, it wasn't exactly
Slap 'em.
like that. We got different
Boom, boom.
outcomes, and so the scene which is in the game now is really different from
Super
the
different from the very first prototype. A
At
lot
the very
different.
beginning, it was only the arguing with David. We
Hello,
have
Hikiri-san,
done
David.
in motion
Hello.
capture, and I've played with Jean-Luc. So Jean-Luc,
you were doing
Oh, it was the
yeah, I was
motion
playing
capture.
Chloe and Jean-Luc
Cool.
were playing. No, I was playing David. And Jean-Luc is
That's so
a
cool.
great writer who has
Third motion
written
capture.
the original story. So we have played all together because we didn't want to. We didn't add the money, in fact,
it was
to have a optic
Wow.
motion capture shooting. So
Just to
we
show
try
our
by
prototype.
ourselves
And I
to have
remember
animation for the prototype, and the animation is quite ugly. The characters also
Happy
Oh
are
yeah, the
New
first
Year.
version were
Happy New
and there
Year.
were at the beginning no textures. We had version
Yeah.
with only the grey characters. We were really weird without hair, so we had a hairless Chloe.
And I think Max is quite frightening. The smoke and all the FX elements, they are made following the same idea as non-realistic, but like it looks like
Hand-drawn.
on
Cool.
smoke a little.
Yeah,
But it's really beautiful, and our FX artist has made a lot of FX like this. We can see also
The wind effects is really cool too.
outside. The wind effects are
Really,
really
really
beautiful.
beautiful.
And we tried to be as close as possible of the concept art. Like ideally, the game we wanted it to look like some sort of animated concept art, and I think it's really.
I hope you have an
the
amazing
3D
day.
artist really on
I'm having a
environment
good day.
artist
I've just been
and
chilling.
the concept artist, they
Been
did a
chilly
really
day,
good job
just a
on
little
that.
bit of
Because
work.
if you look at the concept art for this room and the 3D final scene, it's quite pretty close. We have those low detail textures, but this feeling of light and but it's a lot of details that we tried everywhere. Even if the lighting, if you look just at the light on the drawer, even on the light, we have this small bending that gives the feeling that the light is hand-painted. So
Hand-painted,
we did a
wow.
lot of work on
Very
everything, on
cool.
lighting, visual effects, textures, to have this cohesive style. And sometimes
from
the player
America.
might not completely notice it, but
American.
it still gives this cohesion to the game.
Like for example, for the Chloe's house, how rich Chloe's parents are.
They're not
So
rich
what kind
though.
of house they can afford.
They're not that
so this
rich.
get painted.
They do
We
have a
can
lot of
start,
stuff.
We do like every room, or even the map, the floor map. In Mac's rooms, there's a lot of photos on the wall. Because
She
likes
loves
to take
photos,
and,
yep.
You know, you get like the bands, poster of bands. She like, you know, you have to feel like who they are. and,
Be
you know,
who they
by
are just by
the
looking at
room.
somebody's room. That's really cool. Who a person is. Very nice. Getting things right. Okay, and the last one. We're almost done. The last one will be Voices of Arcadia Bay, and we'll finish the DLC. Nice.
One of the most challenging part of working on the game with an episodic format was to create in a way that would really
Wow, you're from
appeal
Vietnam.
to the player.
Cool.
So when you
We're super
arrive
far
to
away.
this final choice
Yeah.
at the end of episode 5, if you
I would
wanted
love
this
to
final
visit
choice to
them.
work, we really needed the player to grow to love Chloe, to really get attached to Chloe. So two of the biggest challenge was, of course, the writing and the voice acting
was
to
amazing.
make that happen.
That's right.
Of course, the story was written as a whole since the beginning, so we couldn't change massive stuffs. But small details could be added, a line of dialogue for a character, or episode 3 when you visit Kate in the hospital, and it wasn't supposed to be here, but we've seen how people loved Kate.
Yep, it's very
realized
important.
how much it was important to have.
It's good to have a scene like that.
It's a way of finding the voice of the character. So sometimes you just need to think about expressions or words that one character will use and the other won't use it, and that's how you grow to like those characters. Because when in episode 3 or 4, Chloe at the moment use the word Hela, the players were waiting sometimes for it, and they recognize that okay, it's Chloe because she's using that.
So we're working with Blind Light in Los Angeles, and they sent us a lot of different voices to listen to them, and we have to decide. So we decided with Michel, Sebastian, and the producer, and Square, which one we want. So it was quite difficult. For example, for Max, we've got like 40,
wow.
Yes,
I think.
I guess we got
Yeah,
40 voices,
50.
castings.
For Chloe, it was
241, go to
30,
bed.
I think, something like that.
Most of the time we were quite sure and quite agreeing on the actor. It was really hard for Max because it's always on our mind, like, are we really sure that
they're
we're
sure.
doing
It was a
the good choice, because it's so important. I don't know the number
Don't
of
worry,
lines
we're
she
almost
has in
done.
the game,
This
but
is the
it's
last,
almost, I think that there is almost
14,000
14,000
lines,
lines in the
wow.
game, and I think that more than 10,000 are from
Wow.
Max.
I've never played a character that I related to so much. I have a lot of the same issues that she does with her confidence. And so getting to play someone that seemed so similar to me was really an
She sounds
extraordinary
like Max.
experience.
That's so cool.
I really feel like I'm growing with her.
That's so
I'll help you. Just let me go and
The fun stories for Jefferson. The guy we chose is Derek Phillips.
I gotta go. I have
And
class in a few
after we
hours.
chose him,
Okay, see you later,
I
Sonia.
discovered that
You need to go to
he was
bed.
Derek Phillips, and he's actually playing one of the main recurring character in the show Friday Night Lights, which is one of my favorite TV shows.
Wow.
Well, this has just been really fun for me, especially coming from the standpoint
And
where,
that's Jefferson.
you know, when I
Wow.
auditioned for the role, I wasn't sure if Jefferson was going to be the bad guy in this. So, you know, you just kind of came in and we would do our voiceover sessions, and he was just a cool teacher. So it was kind of neat to find out about this
That is
twist. I mean,
awesome.
I'd kind of heard that might happen, but I didn't know for sure if it would. So it was really fun to play with that.
That he was evil. Yeah.
Really proud and happy to have Anna and
See you later, Sonia. Get some rest.
Ashley for Max and Chloe. All the voice talents we've worked with were really involved. They've given
That's
something
so cool.
unique
All
to
the
those
voice actors.
characters, and that's why it has worked also. It's because there is a part
Voice
of their
actors are
soul inside
amazing.
their character.
For Hannah, for Max, one of the hardest parts is that there is so many lines of inner voices. So it was really important for Hannah
Good night
to give
to
something
you
great for
guys.
those,
Get
and I
some
think
rest.
it was quite the case. And for Ashley, one of the
I really enjoy the credits. I really
hard
like
part is
these
that there is
DLCs.
and for Hannah too, there is a lot of really emotional scenes.
I really wanted to sell the moments, and
That's
I was
Chloe.
putting
That's so Chloe.
pressure on myself to make certain moments like with Rachel, lots of the moments that happen in episode 4. I really wanted them to feel real.
And I'm constantly on this roller coaster, so I had to figure out how to harness those feelings so that I could use them to.
That's so Max. You can
illustrate
tell
what
she's
Max is going through.
I remember during the voice recording session,
His
for
voice is
example,
voice
for the
actually
scene
opposite
where
the
they are
characters they
discovering
play.
Rachel's body.
No, I think Chloe
it
looks
was
like her
really
a
hard,
lot.
even just for myself
And
to
if,
listen to the scene.
Max's voice actor dyed her
they
hair
told me
brown,
after
it
that
looked just like
they
her
were,
almost.
both of them were really crying
Crying,
when they were recording this scene.
We knew already how we wanted to end each episode, but after we take a lot of time to discuss about how and to think about the editing and the framing, the layout of each scene.
The endings of each episode. That was something really important, of course, because it's an episodic game, so the ending is crucial. If we want, of course, the player to enjoy the episode and to want to come back for the next episode. So I think we looked a lot at also what can be done in TV series, because with the episodic format we were kind of the
That's how they did it.
same way. At the end of an episode, you want either to bring back some elements of the story, so in order to hook the player, or we can use a cliffhanger. And I think that we did both of that, depending on the episode. And right now this is the ending for episode 2.
Here the episode 1 and episode 2 endings are not the
They were
same, but
definitely
it's,
different.
the idea behind was really to show all the characters of the games, all the main characters, and showing that there is maybe something more going on.
Yeah.
And in episode 1, for example, we even show some characters you haven't
Even
met
if it's the same
already
minus her style,
in
I guess.
episode
Yeah,
1,
yeah,
Joyce
I
and
think so.
Frank, and you will find them back here at the end of episode 2.
The
in-
voices
in-
sound just like
in
them.
small scenes, and we really wanted those in episode 1 and 2, those ends to be like a wide description of all the characters and all what's going on, and also showing other aspects of each character. For example, seeing David on the
Yeah, with
his
David
head
and
on the
Joyce,
shoulder
I
of
remember that.
Joyce,
Okay,
seeing
sleep well,
Victoria
Cutie.
and
Good
Nathan
night.
in Victoria's room, seeing the
Bye
principal
bye.
and Jefferson arguing. This is kind of small hints that maybe will push the player to want to see more.
Yeah, you'd be like, why
Because
is he
this is
doing that?
basically the only moments where we are seeing those characters when Max is not seeing them.
Exactly.
And so we can just bring a bit more. We are not telling too much. We are just bringing a bit more on those characters, a bit of sort of mystery. And this goes with the idea that
Everybody's
everybody
hiding
might be
something.
hiding
That's
something.
true.
and might be a
Everybody's
bit
got another
different,
side to them.
Like
Mhm.
Victoria here we can see her crying when clearly
I thought
this
she
was
was
not the way
pregnant.
her character would behave before. And having Nathan going into her room, we don't know what's happening between the two of them, but it's still bringing a bit of mystery and interest for the characters, for the player. When we worked on the cliffhangers for episodes 3 and 4, of course our goal was still to have a twist. We
With the
were
dog, I remember the dog.
really trying to go on with what was
Frank.
important for the story and not just having the shock factor.
Maybe just want to thank you for all the gifts, all the support we have from you.
Yeah, no worries.
And thank you very much to be so active and so passionate about the
Thank
game.
you,
and
sir.
We're really happy to see that those characters and this story and those themes means something also for you. This is why we are doing games, so we're really happy. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, sir.
We
Thank you
really
for
think that
doing
I think
this.
you are one of the best community we've seen for games.
I'm going to cry, Michel.
You should.
and this community is really nice. I didn't see a lot of bad words. You know, sometimes in video games community can go easily wrong. And
Well,
it
I
was
love the game.
Really, really,
I love this
it's
game
really
so
pleasant
much.
to
And I'm going to play the
read
next
and
one for sure.
To read
very
everything
soon.
that the Life is Strange
The
community
Storm.
has to say.
All right, guys. And I believe, oh, the credits. Yep, that's the end. We did them all. That was all 9 of the commentary. So the commentary is now finished and we have officially completed the game. Obviously, I didn't 100% this game because I was missing some pictures. but I still, still completed the game. Just didn't do all 100%, which is fine. So next time, we're gonna play the next game. We're gonna be playing Before the Storm. So thank you for coming to the stream and enjoying and watching the commentary with me. It was really good. And I think it was a really good background on to what there is in the game and for what's gonna come in store very soon. All right, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you.